Good afternoon, respected teachers and my dear friends. Today, our group is going to do a presentation about mummification. So, you might be wondering, what is mummification? Well, that question will be answered very shortly by Gagandeep.
Greetings to my friends and my respected teachers. I am Gagandeep Singh, and in the next bunch of seconds, I am going to tell you about mummification. So, mummification is a process in which skin, hair, and flesh of a corpse can be preserved. The process can occur either naturally or can be intentionally done by humans. The natural mummification is done by factors like low temperature, acidic environment, and dryness. In the case of humans, the Egyptians use a sequence of steps and techniques like wrapping bandages around the body to protect it from rotting and mummifying it. It is a fact that hair and skin are found on mummified bodies even after years. Now, after knowing about what mummification is, I would like to pass the speech to my friend Brigu, who will tell you about the question that what is the main motive or reason behind mummifying a body. Thank you very much.
Egyptians believed in life after death, and that death was just a transition from one life to another. They believed that they had to preserve their bodies so they could lead a new life. They would need all those things that they had used when they were alive, so their family would put all those things in their grave. Egyptians paid a vast amount of money, about 50 lakh Indian rupees, to have their bodies properly preserved. It was very important to Egyptian religion that the human body was preserved. Anubis was the god of mummification. He had a human body and a head of jackal. His job was to prepare the body of the dead to be received by Osiris, the god of the dead. Osiris will then let the souls on and into the underworld.
Brigu, do you know the process of mummification? The process of mummification includes several steps. Step 1 is embalming. The first step in creating a mummy is called embalming. The dead body is taken to a tent called Ibu, which means place of purification. There, the embalmers, people who perceive the body, cover the body in wine and rinse it with the water. Step 2 is removal of organs. The liver, lungs, stomach, and intestine are taken out by making a cut on the left hand side of the body and are kept in natron, which is a type of salt that will dry them out and was stored in canopic jars. The heart is not taken out as it is considered as the center of intelligence. For the brain, a hook is inserted through the nose and pull it out. Step 3 is more nitron. The body is then covered with salt and stuffed with the nitron. All the fluids and rags from the embalming process are saved to buried with the body. Step 4 is water and oils. After 40 days, the body is washed again in water and covered with oil so that the skin can stay stretchy. The fifth step, organs are returned. The dried organs are wrapped in fabric and put back inside the body, and then the body is stuffed with dry things such as sawdust, leaves, and fabric to help make it look more real.
Yes, Ayushi. After organs are returned, they start wrapping the mummy. The head, neck, fingers, toes, arms, and legs are wrapped separately with the strips of fabric. In between wrapped layer of fabric, the embalmers place amulet to help to protect the body during its journey to underworld. As the body is being wrapped, a priest reads spells aloud that will get rid of evil spirits and also help body to make a safe journey to the underworld. Then the arms and legs are tied together. A piece of papyrus paper with spells on it is placed in the arms of mummy. Then more strips of fabric are added to the mummy. The bandages are painted with a liquid resin which is similar to a glue that will help bandages to stay together. A cloth is wrapped around the body and the picture of god Osiris is painted as a portrait. Osiris is a god of underworld. Then a large cloth is wound around the entire mummy. It is attached with the strips of linen that run around the mummy. Lastly, a board of painted wood is placed on the top of the mummy before it is put inside the first coffin called sarcophagus. All this process takes 70 days to complete. But you know what? Mummification is also divided among rich and poor people.
Yes, Akansha.
Since mummification is a very expensive process, therefore mummification was done in a different way for each class. Like for example, poor people also did mummification, but they buried the body under the sand, whereas rich people like Egyptian kings were buried in pyramids with proper rituals.
And now, let us know about some curious facts about Egyptian mummy. King Ramses II is the first mummy to receive a passport. His passport lists his occupation as king. In ancient Egyptian mummifications, onions were sometimes used to fill body cavities, often serving as false eyes. Listen to this one. Lord Carnarvon discovered King Tut's tomb in 1923. His death, a few weeks after his discovery, increased the belief in a mummy's curse. In ancient Egypt, it took about 40 days for a body to be mummified. During that time, the body lost 75% of its original weight due to the dehydration effects of mummification. In ancient Egypt, embalmers were seen both as doctors and as members of the priestly class. Okay, this is the last one. Over 1 million mummies have been found in Egypt, and mostly are of cats. Do you guys know about King Tut who ruled Egypt for 10 years? Mehul, can you tell something about King Tut?
King Tutankhamun was born in 1342 BC and died 1325 BC. He died at the age of 18 or 19, between 8 or 9 years of age, when he ascended the throne and became pharaoh, taking the throne named Nebkep-Peror. He reigned for about 9 years. He was the last of his royal family to rule during the end of the 18th dynasty. His father was Pharaoh Akhenaten. His mother is his father's sister, identified through DNA testing. He married his half-sister Akhesenamun. King Tut was really known for his tomb.
Yes, Mehul, Lord Carnarvon discovered King Tut's tomb in 1923. There were 5,398 items found in the tomb, including a solid gold coffin, face mask, thrones, archery bows, trumpets, a lotus chalice, food, wine, sandals, and fresh linen underwear. I mean, if I had this stuff, I could fight a war. Howard Carter took 10 years to catalog the items. Recent analysis suggests that dagger recovered from the tomb had an iron blade made from a meteorite. Just think about this.
Now that we are done with PPT, we would like to show you an animated video that we made just to give you a recap about mummification. Mummification, Ancient Egypt. The ancient Egyptians believed in several rituals in order to reach the afterlife into the next world and achieve immortality. Death was seen as a temporary state, and a dead person's spirit needed a body, so to preserve it, a process of mummification was used. This process and quality of mummification varied depending on stats and wealth. The highest ranks in the society got the best method of preservation after they died. Firstly, the body was washed in water and salt. The brain was then removed and discarded using a hook through the nostrils. The body was then slit open, and the organs were removed, except for the heart, which the ancient Egyptians believed would guide the person into the afterlife. The liver, lungs, intestine, and stomach were kept and placed in four canopic jars, one for each organ. These jars represented a sculpted figure of each son of Horus: Hapi, who protected the lungs; Duamatef, the stomach; Imseti, the liver; and Quebesenef, the intestines. The body was then filled with myrrh, cassia, and other spices, then sewn up together and packed with a special salt called natron for up to 70 days, which prevented the body from decomposition. After this process, the body was shaved and dehydrated, so the embalmers would stuff the empty body and with sawdust and linen. To bring it back to its original shape, oil the skin. To soften it and add false eyes and wigs so it looked like a real person. A resin was used to cover the body to prevent mold, and then the whole corpse was wrapped in layers of linen bandages. A face mask was made to look like the person, then was placed on the head of the corpse, and the body was placed into a wooden case, or if the person were a rich, a stone sarcophagus. Mummies would be buried with items they might need in afterlife, including jewelry, clothes, furniture, and even their pet cats and dogs who were mummified as well to keep them company. The less expensive method for the middle class or those who wished to avoid the expense involved the corpse being injected with oil taken from the cedar trees, liquefying the internal organs. It was then packed with neutron soil for 70 days and given back to the family. The Egyptian embalmers were so skilled that even today, after thousands of years ago, people that were mummified have still some recognizable features. And with that, we would like to end our presentation. We hope you all liked it and thank you for being such an amazing audience.